Hello and welcome to another episode of Clark and Addison, Born into the Ivy. We are your hosts, David and Eli, and we are back to talk about the offseason. Unfortunately, there's still possibly two more games of the World Series. Blue Jays are up 3-2 right now. Who do you think's going to win that?
I don't know. Well, they're going back to Toronto, so
They are.
maybe the Blue Jays.
It'll be interesting.
Hopefully the Blue Jays.
Yamamoto pitches in Game 6, though.
Yeah,
I would be
well,
shocked if it doesn't go to 7. That dude is pitching as well as anybody.
he's looking the best of the best right now.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
So next year, I'm
Um,
going to be worried about him.
I mean, yeah, we all should be, dude. That dude is looking every bit worth the $325 million that they are paying him for the 12 years, I think.
That's
I
a,
mean,
that's a steal, honestly.
frankly, it is, yes.
How old is he? He's like 28, isn't he?
I'm not sure.
I don't even know how to say his first name, so I can't even Google it.
Yeah. 27 right now. He just turned 27 August 17th.
Oh, okay. I'm scared Roki Sasaki's going to be good too, and the Dodgers are going to be in a World Series every year.
Roki is going to be good because he's still young.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hate this team. I hate the Dodgers. I hope the Blue Jays win. I really want the Blue Jays to win this. Because, I mean, it's just they have a high payroll too, but it's
Yeah.
not stupid. And it's, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
The Dodgers. I'll be happy for friends of mine who are Dodger fans and everything because that's what friends do, but I hate it too at the same time. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Luckily I have
Kyle Tucker,
no
man. I'm sorry.
luckily I have no friends that are Dodgers fans, so we're good.
You don't? You don't have any?
Nope. All
I'm so
Cubbies.
jealous. I mean, one of them's my brother-in-law. Anthony's brother. I mean, he did grow up out there in
Right.
Southern California, but he
But
could have
still,
rooted for the Angels.
that's not a good excuse. Poor excuse.
So the Cubs have 9 free agents going into this year, and then they have some other guys who have options for contract club or player options as well. So they're probably going to end up with more than the 9. But right now, outright free agents are Kyle Tucker, Brad Keller, Caleb Thielbar, Drew Pomeranz, Ryan Brazier, Mike Soroka, Taylor Rogers, Carlos Santana, and Willie Castro. Of those guys, is there anybody that you expect that would resign or that you want to resign?
Brad Keller. For sure. Other guys can pretty much go.
I would like to keep Pomeranz or Thielbar.
Oh, yeah,
well.
I guess Pomeranz.
At
I
least
guess
one
all
of the
those
two.
guys are pretty good. I mean, I
Right
feel like
now,
we can get Pomeranz and Teal for a decent price. If we can get both of those and not have Brad Keller, so be it. But if we're not getting either of those two, at least get Brad Keller.
I think that those two could very well have priced themselves. Actually, all 3 of them could have very well priced themselves out of what the Cubs will pay.
Right. Which is unfortunate.
Agreed. I wouldn't be shocked if Brad Keller gets like 2 years, $16 million, or 3 years, 24. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And I just don't think the Cubs are going to do that in the bullpen.
I would though.
I don't think. I think Pomeranz and or Thielbar probably get $5 to $6 million. But Pomeranz specifically, I think, and Brad Keller both said that they love pitching in Wrigley. Andrew
Right.
Kittredge has said that as well.
Well,
So
how
hopefully
much?
maybe they'll take a little less as a result. But like Keller, he he's not owned by a smaller agent. He's owned
Uh
by
huh.
or not owned. His agent is one of the bigger conglomerates, and typically, unless the player truly drives it, they encourage them to take the most money that they can get.
How much? How much were the Cubs? You probably don't know this, but how much were the Cubs playing like Aroldis Chapman and Craig Kimbrell? I know those two are like probably even
Kim,
better than those players, but
Kimbrel sucked. I mean, I liked that they were aggressive and tried to fill the hole, but he sucked for
uh
us. And Chapman, we rode that guy to death. Like he was misused for sure, and um, but the Cubs had no plans to keep him
right.
after two because they traded for him in 16. They rode his butt all the way through, and they had zero plans to keep him. That's why they did that. There's no way they would have used him and utilized him the way they did if they had not planned to keep him, or if they had planned to keep him. And if I'm wrong on that, then shame on them because that's just malpractice. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The way like he wasn't effective at the end of the series, nearly as effective as he could have been and should have been, because
Right.
Madden just misused it. In my very we won that World Series in spite of Joe Madden. I truly believe that, and the way he managed that series in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, that dude's a good manager. I don't think he's as great as some people tried to make him out.
Yeah.
He's a really good manager, and we may not have won the series without him. I don't know. But the series itself, we won that in spite of him.
Do you think we would have won it with Craig Counsell?
I very much do think we can win a World Series with Craig Counsell. I do.
I mean, with the 2016 team.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that team was destined to do it. And I'm not saying that no matter what it was going to happen.
So many
But
superstars
they
in that
lost
team.
some of that hunger after they won it too.
Right.
The Cubs also have 4 players who have a player mutual or club option. Shota Imanaga has a very complicated contract. The Cubs can opt him into a 3-year, $57 million club option. I think it's $57.75 million. So it would be $19.25 million a year for the next 3 years. He is 32 years old right now. So that would be age 33, 34, and 35. I think that the way he pitched, especially in the second half, I would be shocked if they do this.
I hope they wouldn't.
I mean, before the second half, before he came back from injury, I thought it was a foregone conclusion that they would pick this up. I mean, he's one of the, if not the most popular player on this team. But you can't do it just because of popularity. Like,
Right.
as much as I love Shota, he did not pitch like somebody who they should pick up this contract in the latter half of the year. He can then, though, if they decline that, opt into a 1-year, $16 million player option. I do not think he does that. I think he would then test free agency because he thinks he can get more. And he probably can. I just don't know that he would. Maybe, I mean, teams like the Mets, maybe, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who are also trying to upgrade. The Cubs' starting rotation isn't a disaster without
Right.
Shota. It definitely weakens, though, without Shota, I think.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think it would
It's-
weaken depending on who else we might get.
I mean, if we keep Colin Ray and if he pitches like he did last year, and then we add Justin Steele and Justin Steele comes back pretty Justin Steele like, then I don't think we'd have any issues.
He's coming back from Tommy John surgery, though, and I mean that there's
I
a lot of
know.
questions to be had for that. I mean, Steele's going to come back and be Justin Steele. I just don't know that it happens right away. That
I
dude's
just
way
wouldn't.
too
Yeah.
competitive, in my opinion,
Right.
to not. You know what I mean?
Right.
The
I don't
Cubs
know.
could also, though, if Shota declines that, they can offer him a qualifying offer, which would be for about 1 year, $22 million, and a $6 million raise over what Shota's option or player option is. And I think he probably would accept that. He likes pitch. He loves pitching in Chicago. He loves the team. He loves the fans. He loves the city. I think for a $6 million hike, he would probably accept. This is just speculation on my end, though. It'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Uh-huh.
There's a 5-day window after the World Series. So if the World Series is over after tomorrow night, then starting on Saturday, on November 1st, there would be a 5-day window where teams can exclusively negotiate with their own free agents. And then on, I think it would be the 6th, then free agency is open.
I don't know what the holdup is on Nico Horner.
What do you mean?
Isn't he's on his last year too, isn't he?
No, he signed through next year, through 26.
But still,
Nico's not a free agent.
I'd extend him.
I hope that they do extend him. I wouldn't be shocked if they extend Hap.
They need to extend Nico way before they but
Way
you
before.
know
100%.
that ticks me off a little bit.
Those are guys that I think could be extended. They're both signed through 26.
I think Nico Horner is the Chicago Cubs. If I'm being quite frank.
I mean, he embodies it all. Like,
Yeah.
I talked about Shota loving it. Nico loves it here too, and so does Ian Happ.
Yeah, but Ian Happ sucks.
He doesn't suck, but he's incredibly frustrating.
Sucks.
And I don't think he comes up in moments when he really needed to on a regular basis. Every once in a while he does, but not like Nico does, or even Seiya. I think Seiya does it far better and more. Andrew Kittredge has a 1-year club option for $9 million. I do not think there's any way in hell that they re-sign him or pick that option up. I do, however, hope, because he said that he's never enjoyed a season in a city as much as he has, even though it was just half the year. A lot of players say that kind of stuff when they come to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
But he's probably going to be offered a certain amount too. And I would think that he and maybe even Keller and one of those lefties might be inclined to give a bit of a discount, but only a bit. Like, they're no different than us. We all want as much money as we can make. They do too. You can't blame them for that. But I also think that you got to care about if you want to win or not too.
Right.
I mean, $5 million versus $7 million, but a chance to actually win on a more regular. You know what I mean? Like, I would, especially at a certain age, I would be more inclined to lean that way. But Kittredge, I would say, is up in that area. Those lefties are both up in that area. And, I mean, Keller's probably not quite there, but he really seemed to enjoy himself as well. So I have hope for that, but it's not like huge hope. Colin Ray has a 1-year, $6 million player option. He's crazy if he accepts that, because he definitely has earned a bigger raise than that, even if he stays with the Cubs.
Right.
And Justin Turner has a 1-year, $10 million mutual option, and I would be absolutely stunned if the Cubs were to pick that up. Falling off the payroll is Kyle Tucker at $16.5 million, Ryan Presley at $14 million. $5.5 million of that was paid by Houston, so the Cubs paid $8.5 million for Ryan Presley this year. Ryan Brazier The Cubs paid $2.8 million for him. The Dodgers paid $1.7 million for him. Colin Ray at $5 million. Caleb Thielbar at $2.75 million. Drew Smiley at $2.5 million. John Birdie at $2 million, and David Bodie at $1 million. A couple of those guys didn't even play for us.
David Bodie?
Yeah,
I thought he was on the Dodgers.
he is, but the Cubs are still
Oh.
paying him. That alone accounts for $41.05 million of guaranteed contracts coming off the books. Some of that will be eaten back up in arbitration raises. However, Justin Steele is the only one who is expected to get anything of consequence with that. The Cubs had $228 million of payroll in 2025. For 2026, as of right now, hold on. Sorry, man. It is at $152.5 million. So even if we just go from the 228, that's about it's almost $80 million available. Nope, that's not right. Hold on. I didn't math very well. It's $76 million available to add to the team. And these are guys that we could possibly be added. Now, obviously, if they were to accept, or let's say that they were to do the $22 million with Shota, then that brings it to 54. Guys like Kyle Schwarber, possibly. Does that excite you at all?
Yeah, it
Just
does.
a little? It excites me big, that possibility. I don't think it happens, but it excites me big time.
I'll get more excited when it happens.
Would you be
If it
like?
happens.
Would you rather try and sign a guy like Kyle Schwarber, or have like Moises Ballesteros get a chance, and or Owen Casey get a chance at being part of the team?
That's a tough question. But, Kyle Schwarber and all his home runs and RBIs he gets in his experience. But at the same time, you want to watch Moises Ballesteros, and Casey grow on the team, especially Moises. I want to see that guy play, but
I think
I don't know. That's a tricky question.
I think if you can add Kyle Schwarber for 25 to 30 million, you've got to. And let's say I'll play the outfield or figure something else out with that. I mean, would you rather see the offense have this? Let's say everybody else is back except for Kyle, obviously, because we don't think he's going to come back. But I think that there's an outside chance that could still happen. But let's, for argument's sake, right now, assume that's not going to happen. So let's then say we can sign Kyle for $30 million, but to free up some of that space, roster-wise, or not roster-wise, payroll-wise, we can trade Seiya. And Seiya agrees to be traded for some prospects or a bullpen arm, or you know what I mean? Or a combination of all that. And we offset like $10 million that way. And so really we signed Kyle for $20 million additional. And then Owen Casey gets a chance to play, or Kevin Alcantara. Would you rather have Schwarber and one of those two rookies? I'm leaning towards Casey would win that out. Or Seiya and Ballesteros, along with the rest of the team.
Schwarber and Casey, probably.
I lean that way too. because I think that it would
I
be
just think
even. Go ahead.
Schwarber is way more consistent than Say is,
That's what I was about to say.
and and Casey can play pretty solid defense. I think
Yeah,
too.
like he showed that very much, and
Uh huh.
I think that there's going to be learning curves with either rookie, Ballesteros or Casey. And this doesn't mean that Ballesteros doesn't play at all.
Right.
Um, like on a major league team, that he can't make the major league team. I think he could play a little bit of catcher. He can play a little bit of first base. The problem with that is, I mean,
Him and Michael
if
Bush are both
Schwarber's the full
lefties.
time DH, I don't know. Do we want him to just be a bench guy who plays periodically? Probably not. So in all honesty, whichever rookie doesn't have plans on the team, I think, be it Ballesteros or Casey, then I think that they probably end up in a trade for a starting pitcher. For a guy like Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryan, Sandy Alcantara, Mitch Keller, Mackenzie Gore, those are just a few. There's a whole lot of other possibilities. But I think that they add a starting pitcher, and if they were to sign a guy like Kyle Schwarber, it would, to add to the starters, you would almost have to trade at that point. You know what I mean? Because guys like this are available via free agency. Ranger Suarez, Dylan Cease, Michael King, Framber Valdez. I don't want him. Brandon Woodruff, Zach Gallen, and Merrill Kelly. Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly, possibly you could sign them and Schwarber. But the other guys, I
That'd
don't
be
think that
nice.
there's. I don't disagree. I just don't think that it gives us the frontline starter that we want, though. Those other
Right.
guys would. Suarez, Cease, King, Woodruff, even. I would be happy with
Uh-huh.
Woodruff. One, that takes away from the Brewers. And two, I mean, he's not frontline guy. He's not a one, but he's two or three. And I think Cade is developing into that one or two. Steele is, if when he's fully healthy. I just think it's going to take time.
I'm excited for Cade Horton ball next season.
What do you think about Dylan Cease or Michael King?
I'd be fine with Dylan Cease. I don't really know much about Michael King though.
I think Michael King is just as good, but more consistent. He doesn't have quite the upside that Cease can have, but
Uh-huh.
he's going to be more consistent. I don't disagree. I would ultimately prefer Cease. I just think that Cease is probably going to be about 30 to 40 million more than King. Not per year,
Yeah.
but in
Uh-huh.
total contract.
Right.
Like I think King is a guy that might be able to sign for like 5 years, 90 million to 100 million, and where Cease is going to be 5 years, 130, 140 million. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And that can be a massive difference when you're trying to put together the rest of the team. But I don't think that they can sign one of those guys and Schwarber. However, I think that the Cubs are probably going to lean more towards the starters, unless they can figure something like that out. There's not a whole lot of high-end hitters available this year. Tucker and Schwarber are the biggest ones by far. There's other really good ones. They're just not in that upper echelon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are guys that I like for a possible bench players. Wilmer Flores, that dude crushes lefties. Ahmad Rosario
Mm-hmm.
also crushes lefties. Miguel Rojas, Jose Iglesias, Rob Refsnyder also crushes lefties. Lane Thomas, Hunter Renfroe. Um, those are all guys that I think.
Let
Go ahead.
what team does Lane Thomas play on? Is he the Diamondbacks, dude?
No, dang it. Who was Lane with? He played
That's
for the
Alex
Cardinals for a
Thomas.
little bit. But yes, that is
I'm
Alex
thinking of
Thomas.
Alex Thomas.
These are all
Lane
guys that can
Thomas.
maybe substitute in the outfield in spots at times, like Thomas and Renfro and Ruff Snyder. Ruff Snyder can play first, though. Um, Flores, Rosario, Iglesias, and Rojas can play third. Rosario, Rojas, and Iglesias all can play third, shortstop, or second, probably even first. Um, and be like Willie Castro guys, but hopefully not guys that would fall off the face of the earth. I was huge into Willie Castro. I almost kind of want to be able to
Yeah.
try and re-sign him if we can get him really, really cheap. But I think that most Cub fans
I
would
don't
have
see
my
that
head for
happening.
wanting that. And I
Yeah.
understand because, I mean, he was atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. However, I don't think that we used him right. Like, we got him to hit against lefties, and he hit him against righties far more than he did lefties. He was never very good against righties. I don't understand why we did that way.
Because they saw that he was a switch hitter, and they
I
loved it.
guess. I do think that we need somebody who can sub out Pete a little more as well, though, in center.
I mean, I can understand that, but
I think
I
that was
don't.
part
I
of his
hate.
problem. He just got so tired. That
Yeah.
dude, I mean, he
I
plays at a level, not that the others don't, but like he just plays at such a high level that he's much more susceptible to get tired at times. I mean, maybe he
I
needs
just
to
hate
sit every
seeing.
25 games.
I just hate to see him not out there on defense.
I do too. But be strategic about when you sit him. Like sit him on a day game when you have an off day the next day. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just and none of those guys that I just said I think are great guys to play center field. So I mean, say I can do it. He's got the range. He just doesn't have the glove. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would never
And I
put
don't
Say
really
on
like
him.
that idea.
If Hap was just a little bit faster, he'd be a great guy for it.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I mean, Ahmad
I mean, he used
Rosario
to play
probably
center.
could do it. Rosario could probably play
Mm-hmm.
center. In all honesty, I don't know if he's
Just
played
straight for
out.
Harrison Bader.
That's something to check. I don't dislike that idea. I think that's a pretty good idea. Harrison Bader, I like that.
Yeah.
He hits lefties well too. I actually really like that idea. I think he might be a little more expensive than what some of these other guys would be, but man, I like that idea a lot actually because he could substitute out for all those guys and
Right.
play competently well
Because he's
to
quick.
more than competently.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an excellent idea actually. Good, great idea. Send that in to Jed, buddy.
Jed don't care about nobody but himself.
I mean, so Chris Sale is also a possible starting guy. Jack Flaherty, Zach Littell, Shane Bieber, Dustin May, Walker Buehler, even the one I like the most of all those, especially if we were to try and get two, I just don't know how we'd fit all that in, unless specifically they don't keep Shota. I like Shane Bieber a lot. I just don't think
Yeah, I thought
like
about
he's
that
in
too.
between. Shane's like in between that front line guy,
Mm-hmm.
and like he's probably more of a three on a really, you know what I mean? But depending on how Cade sorts out, like that could end up. There's just so much dependent, and you can't
Mm-hmm.
count on Cade being the ace. Like that
Right.
would be malpractice as well. Would it make more sense to not keep Shota Imanaga, as much as that sucks on a fan level, and sign like a Dylan Cease and Shane Bieber.
I wouldn't be upset about that.
I wouldn't be upset about it either. But I think that there's no way you can sign a guy like Kyle Schwarber at that point, though.
Right. I mean, they absolutely could, but they don't want to.
Okay. There's no way they're going to if they're trying to stay within the same kind of budget.
They don't need to stay in that budget.
I don't disagree.
They could spend a lot more money.
I'm trying to be realist about it. I think that they should go all in and sign Dylan Cease, Shane Bieber, and Kyle Schwarber. All three of them. There's zero reason why you shouldn't. Even if Kyle was $35 million. And let's say Cease is $30 million. That's $65 million right there. And then we haven't even talked about Bieber.
I mean,
they have the resources.
Again, it's the Dodgers. They make great. Dodgers market is great. I understand, but Shohei and Yoshi both together make that much money. And then I don't even know how much Roki's getting paid, but I'm sure it's a buttload.
Shohei makes $70 million a year. AAV.
And then you got Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
So my point
the Cubs
is,
the Cubs aren't going to spend the same way the Dodgers do, but they do have enough money.
Right, but
and we'll talk a little more about that on the next episode, because I've broken that down. Like this guy, this guy tries to tell us as fans that he breaks even. If he's breaking even, we'll go more into that next episode. We'll do that more next episode. Some of the relievers that I like, you know, Devin Williams. He played for the Brewers, got traded to the Yankees this year. His ERA doesn't look great, but his peripheral still looked pretty decent. I would love to try and get him as a cheaper option, 1 or 2 year deal, and reunite him with Craig and see how that goes. I think there's some high upside in that possibility. You know what I mean?
Same thing with Brandon Woodruff, too.
Yes.
Brandon Woodruff would do the same thing, too, because, he was under Craig Counsell.
Woodruff would probably be cheaper than Bieber. Maybe. They both came back from injury this year, but Woodruff got hurt again and wasn't able to pitch in the playoffs. So that's the danger with him. Bieber has looked really good since coming back from Tommy John surgery. So Woodruff would probably be cheaper. I think that there's more of a and honestly, if you're going to get 2 starters, you're probably trading for one and signing one. You agree?
Yeah.
So if we're doing that, I would love to trade for like Joe Ryan and sign Shane Bieber. Put them with Taillon.
Joe Ryan's really good, yeah.
Boyd and Steele. And who am I missing? I'm missing somebody in that, buddy.
Did you say Cade?
Cade, thank you.
And then put Colin Ray in the bullpen if we sign him?
I mean, I don't think they're going to keep him, but yeah. And then he's there if they need him. Because at some point you're going to need him. Do you know how many starters, like the majority of the starts were 7 guys this year? That's crazy. That's a lot of health out of the starting rotation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Cubs stayed relatively healthy most of the year. I like a guy like Phil Maton, Ryan Helsley, the Cardinals ex-closer.
Oh, that wouldn't be bad.
But these guys are probably going to be a little more expensive. A guy that I think you could try and go get
going to be expensive.
That might be a little cheaper but has some high upside as well, Raisel Iglesias. He struggled this past year. I could see him bouncing back quite a bit, though, because he's done that before. Bullpens are so volatile. And players are so, they're great one year and not so great the next year. So I think guys who who have past history of being good but struggled this past year are prime guys to try and go get. You know what I mean?
Right. Especially if you can get them for a lower price.
Yeah. A guy like Sean Newcomb would fall into that category too. Michael Kopech maybe as well. But let's end it there. Like I said, in the next episode, we'll talk more about the payroll and how much money the Cubs revenue brought in, and then see what we think of the proclamation that they're just breaking even, and why can't we add more payroll to get some of these guys to make this team more formidable? Because the offense needs a little bit of help too. The biggest problem is where are we going to add that? Do they have young guys who can step in? Yes, but there's so many question marks with that then when you're adding too many young guys. Because you still have the issue that PCA had at the end of the year. So we're not 100% sure we can trust him all year yet, offensively. You know what I mean? I love the guy, and he's turning into a superstar. He is a special talent. But is he special talent like MVP, perennial contender? Or is he special talent? That dude is amazing on defense, and he's going to be streaky on offense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it will be a couple more years of him being streaky, but then I think he'll start to pick it up.
Do you know who I think is going to break out to a bona fide star next year?
Matt Shaw.
No. Well, I mean, possibly, but not to the same level that I'm talking about with this other guy, Michael Busch.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to an extent, he kind of did this year. But I mean, I think he turns into a possible MVP guy.
Sorry, Dodgers.
How great is that?
Had to get
possibility.
Had to get Freddie Freeman.
I love Michael Busch. But yes, I think Matt Shaw makes a big step. I hope that they do not panic and try and go get another third baseman. I have a fear of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I think that he progressed well. We saw good progression. People are panicking because of the way he did in the postseason. And I get it. But, man, most of that was against some high velocity. And that was the first time he's probably seen a ton of that like that. He's already shown he can adjust. Trust him to keep doing that. He works hard, and I think this kid can be a really good hitter. I think he can be as good of a hitter as Nico Hoerner with more power.
That would be nice.
Yeah. That'd be huge.
Have ourselves a future Hall of Famer right there.
We need more guys who hit like Nico. I think Shaw is one of them who can do that. And I think Michael Busch is too. My fear with Michael is that he might sacrifice power, and I don't want him to do that. If he were to try that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd keep Michael Busch. I want to...
Agreed. And I would hit Nico leadoff all the time. And hopefully Shaw can, at some point, end up in that 2-hole. But for now, I mean, as the team exists right now, it's probably going to be Ian Happ.
Unfortunately.
Or Ballesteros, if Ballesteros is the DH. I'd like Ballesteros in that spot, actually.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for joining us on Clark and Addison Born into the Ivy. On our first episode of talking about the possibilities with the hot stove and how the Cubs can improve themselves and guys that might be able to go get. So join us again on our next episode. Everybody have a great night. Go Cubs.
Go Cubbies.